Yeah, you know, when we go to sleep, you know, we can all remember what we did yesterday, can't we, you know? And what hectic day it might have been or whatever.
Yeah.
And you could rest,
Yeah.
you kind of reflect on it, and then you switch off completely, and in the morning you kind of wake up quite refreshed. Do you know what I mean? It's ready to start again in a funny way, you know, and take another hectic day on maybe, do you know what I mean? And remember the day previous, what it went on, you know, you might have learnt a little bit, do you know what I mean? In life, you know. But I think like rest is very important, you know, like I think like your skeleton itself, it's got like 3 positions when you think about it. Either lays down, stands up, or sits down. And I think like 24 hours a day, and I think you've just got to balance those 3 positions out somehow.
Yeah.
Where it's no good laying down all day.
No.
You know, because you're not doing any exercise or moving your skeleton about.
You're going to get weak.
You're not moving your muscles about or anything,
No,
you know?
not getting any exercise at all, any kind of movement, you know?
No, so I mean, if you stayed in bed for a week every day, I think you'd probably get ill, wouldn't you?
Well, some people do, mate. That's why some people, if they're in bed for a long, like say someone has an injury, say for example, like a car crash or something, and ends up in hospital, sometimes they don't get up out of that bed for at least like a month. No. And then when they get up to try and walk, it's awkward.
Well,
right?
yeah, I think it's difficult.
They can walk, but their legs are so weak, like you said, become fragile and because they're not use them for such a prolonged period of time that they just get weak. You know, you're not, like you said, no movement, no exercise, no, you know.
I mean, when I think about people in hospitals, right, all they do most of the time is laying down, don't they? In bed or sleeping, you know, a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, and I think it's making you weaker in a funny way, you know, you're not getting any exercise, you know. I mean, I know that these patients in hospitals get out and do a little bit, you know, they go around in circles, whatever.
Oh yeah,
a few walks, whatever, you know. But, you know, I think like generally the body really does need to sort of stand up, be on its feet, do a bit of walking for at least 8 hours a day, and then sit down, you know. But in this modern world today, what we're living in, most people sit down all day, you know, whether they're in the office, when they go home, they sit in the car, going home, then they go to bed. You know, so they're not standing up much, do you know what I mean? You know, so what's this doing to society and the kind of, you know, where, okay, we've invented the car and it's great, you know, we can go out shopping, it's made life a bit easier, but we're all sitting down a lot more and relaxing a lot. The world's a lot easier than it used to be. You know, because now we've got cars and lorries and everything. You know?
Well, I was going to say my uncle was a bus driver for 20 plus years, and his knees and his legs are a bit messed up now because of it. He's in his 60s now, and he drove buses for I think close to about 25 years, and his knees, he struggles to walk sometimes. He'll sit down for a period of time, and then when he tries to get up and tries to, you know, go to the kitchen or go to the bathroom or whatever, he struggles to walk, like, you know, So I think, like you said, I think it does have like a bit of a detrimental effect, you know, people's kind of like physique, so.
I think you can sort of even get up in the morning, alright, and work too hard.
Yeah, you could do too much too as well. You can overexert yourself and injure yourself, or, you know, do too much, you know.
You know, I heard that like the ancient Egyptians and all this, you know, the brick builders and the builders and all this, you know, they didn't have much of a lifespan. They only sort of lived up to 40 because they had arthritis in their knees and things, where they worked so hard and things, you know, and all this sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know whether it's true. You know, but I'm just sort of saying where, you know, when you work yourself hard, doing hard labour and stuff, that is wear and tear on your body, do you know what I mean? And if you're doing it 16 hours a day, you're not resting your body enough, do you know what I mean? I think there's a balance, do you know what I mean, of the 3. Like I say, like, you need to lay down for 8 hours. You need to sit down, you're not on average, you know, we can't get it perfect, you know, but I think that, you know, like today, in this modern world, people are generally sitting down too much. you know, and eating too much maybe, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
getting a little bit lazier and a little bit weaker, if you ask me, you know, they're not
Some people
standing
tend to put on weight as well, if you see what I mean. Not everyone, but a lot of people tend to, if they're not watching their diet and how they eat and stuff, where they're not getting much exercise and not much movement throughout the day, if they're eating a lot of heavily, like high carb foods and stuff like this, they usually end up putting on weight. Wow. You know, because like you said, very little exercise, very little movements. All the food that they're eating and snacks and crisps and whatever else is just, you know. And as we all know, the older you get, the more your metabolism slows down, you know, as we get older. So, you know, it's easily done, you know. So, it's finding that, you know, that middle ground, you know. Each aspect is important. Work, rest and play, all very important, you know. Got to work to survive and to provide, you know. You've got to play, you know, and have fun sometimes on a day. But yeah, you know.
I mean, even schools, when you think about it, right, they have a break time where they say to the children, you can have playtime now.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to call it playtime, because it's the only time you can play.
Yeah.
And be yourself and be free.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And
then they used to have a bell go off, you know, and they used to come back, go back to work. It might be science, sit down, you know, you know, and maths, sit down, English, sit down, do you know what I mean? Sit down, do lines sometimes, whatever, you know. But sometimes there was PE where, you know, that where you know, you had a little bit of exercise, you know, at school, you know. But I don't think it's enough. You know, children need to, you know, what children do in some holidays, run around all the time.
Oh yeah, true, yeah.
You know.
Well, we used to, didn't we? You know, a lot of time. Like I was gonna say, I was born in the '90s, so like I'm part of that generation that is kind of like one of the last probably the last generation that experienced both worlds of, you know, pre-internet and pre-certain things, and then, you know, being outside and, you know, and like you said, using your imagination, going out with your friends and making up games and, you know, just running around a lot, playing football or cricket. I remember growing up playing a lot of football and cricket and running around playing other games, you know, with your friends, you know, climbing up in trees. And,
I played kiss chase.
Yeah, all that kind of thing, you know, climbing trees, you know, going to the beach, all that kind of thing, you know, but, yeah.
But I think, like, there's nothing better, is there, sort of like coming home and laying in bed after a hard day's work.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, when you're exhausted, do you know what I mean? And you conk out.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like, yeah, work, you know, work creates, you know, work makes you want to rest, you know. Yeah.
I think, like, work, again, it depends whether you enjoy your job.
Yeah.
You know, you actually enjoy getting up to it. You know, that's what's important in life, do you know what I mean? I think, you know. And then when you enjoy it, it becomes kind of play.
Yeah.
Work can.
Yeah.
You know. Like, I mean, when I used to do my removals, you know, it used to be quite hard work sometimes, you know, but I know, like, I mean, like lifting a big washing machine up or something up the stairs, do you know what I mean? But once I got up there, I felt good.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was an achievement, you know, my body felt better because of it.
Reminds me of us moving that bloody marble table, mate.
That was a story.
That was an achievement, that's for sure.
That was our story, wasn't it?
That was, yeah, that was, yeah.
I'm never going to do that one again.
Yeah, never again. Never again.
He asked me, sort of like, this not long ago, was it? Only a couple of months ago. He asked me, can you help me do this table? And I said, okay, yeah. No,
you had to do some work.
Because I don't, you know, I just thought I'd give him a hand with it up.
Well, I also want to say in my defence, before you continue, I just want to say in my defence, I had no idea. Obviously, I'd been at work the whole day for 12 hours, and when I got home, it was there, and I had no idea. Obviously, obviously when I left work, I came straight to your place. I came straight here, then we went to mine. So I hadn't seen it, I didn't realise the weight of it or whatever. So yeah.
Well, I could believe it, but you must have known it's marble. Yeah. And I couldn't believe, you know, your wife, bless her, right? She ordered she saw it and she loved it, whatever, and she thought I'd get that, but she didn't think about getting it up there or whatever.
No, getting it inside.
You know, and anyway, the delivery people, they got off the lorry, you know, and it was quite heavy, wasn't it? You know, whatever.
And it was in a pallet. It was in a wooden pallet as well, which made it even heavier.
Yeah, really good. They made the pallet very well.
Very sturdy, very,
But anyway, the delivery drivers, you know, they left it downstairs, didn't they? Whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
It was so heavy. Right, and I could understand why they left it, right, because it was heavy, too heavy really for 2 people to take it up there. You know, need 4 people for that. You know, but I got there and I thought, okay, you know, and we got up there.
Yeah.
We achieved it. I couldn't believe it. It was like a miracle, honestly.
Yeah.
And then when I was going home, honestly, it took me half an hour to walk home, didn't it? You know, like my legs were really stiff.
Yeah.
As anything, do you know what I mean? And I conked off into my bed. And I just fainted. I mean, I woke up the next day and I could still feel my muscles. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like I moved the earth. Honestly, it was so heavy.
Me too, mate. I was exhausted from obviously being at work all day long, and then coming home and doing that late at night, and then you know, one hell of a job it was, and then I had to work the next day too.
It killed me, honestly.
I was next day at work. I was exhausted after doing that, mate. I was, you know, it was.
It killed me, and I won't forget it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I won't forget it.
Even said to my wife, I think that was the heaviest thing I've ever moved in my life, possibly.
Well, you know, I don't think it's the heaviest thing I've moved because I've done removals, but
up there.
It was a phenomenal job, I must admit. Do you know what I mean?
It was a four-man job done by two great men.
Well, you know? We slowly got it up.
And we persevered, and it was one hell of a job, I tell you that. But
you know,
we got it done.
Yeah. You know, and then you come home and you rest, you know.
And the reason we got it done, I just want to say, before we continue, the reason we got it done is because we believed we could get it done. If you see what I mean.
About that, you know, we did. You know, we did, didn't we? We just did it.
No, we believed. We didn't stop. We persevered. If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, we knew from the time we got up that first.
I don't think if it was another flight, I wouldn't have done it.
From the time we got to that first flight of stairs, we realised how hard of a job it was going to be. But we managed to do it, mate, and it was like an accomplishment. It really was. It was like it almost felt like climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah, it was really.
You know what I mean, like Mount Everest. You know, going up. You know.
I was glad, you know, that it was done anyway. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we, you know, we did it.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But let's talk about
and then
work.
The wife was happy, so that's always good.
Yeah.
You know, she got a drink table. Drink table and chairs that she'd been wanting, you know. Not that the old ones were bad, but, you know, she wanted something new, you know. So.
But, you know, let's talk about play
for
a minute and that. You know, why do children play? You know, and it's
not
not
for entertainment value.
It's not just children, alright, that play. All animals do.
Yeah, yeah. Even animals do.
Even baby rabbits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're really playful.
Yeah.
You know, so cubs, you know, lion cubs.
Yeah.
Very playful little things, you know, when they're, you know, you look at kittens, very playful. You know, you can get a ball of string and play with one of them all day.
Oh yeah.
They're like this, you know.
And they love it. They love it.
They're always playing, you know, all the time.
I remember being young and doing that with my cat. I used to have some string, and the cat used to love it. You know, the cat used to be chasing it. And,
dogs is the same as well, you know, when they're puppies, they play.
Yeah.
You know, but as they get older, they don't play as much, do you? You know,
yeah.
This.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they've grown up.
Yeah.
In a kind of way. I think playing is kind of way of learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like when you're playing around and running around, for instance, you know, sometimes you fall over.
Yeah.
So you're always learning, and I think it's a fun way of learning.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
Yeah.
And I say, like schools, when you think about it, it's sort of like they're made to tell you to sit down. Children, this is.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit out of order.
Yeah.
You know, children should be free.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I think.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like the best way to teach children really is by playing. You know, and I think like you could teach them English, right, or science by playing.
Yeah.
You can make fun out of it.
Well, that's what you have to do with kids anyway, to get them interested. You know, to captivate their mind and get their attention.
Yeah, not so serious, you know.
You've got to do it in a manner which is engaging for children, you know. So.
Let's put it this way, when I was at school, you know, when I was younger, they were very serious about it. Sort of sit down and do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, especially with English and all this, and you write out and they'd be a bit angry, or you get a red line if you spelt something wrong, and they put you down for it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or you would get so many ticks or so many gold stars, you know,
Yeah.
because you weren't very good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. And it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun at all, you know. And I think like English should be fun.
Yeah.
You know, why be strict about it, you know? And I don't understand the strictness of it, you see. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you're a child, you're kind of allowed to play and play, and then as soon as you're 16, you've got to stop playing and grow up and start going to work in the kind of way in the world we're living. You know, it gets quite serious.
Of course, yeah.
You've got to be serious in this money world in
Yeah.
a way, you know. And I think it's a shame that everyone's getting so serious.
Yeah.
You know, in a kind of way.
But the reality of it is that we grow up and we understand. We come to an understanding that in order to survive and be independent as a human being and have your own place and be able to look after yourself and be independent and stand on your own 2 feet as an adult, then you have to survive, don't you?
Well,
You've got to fight. You've got to get a means to an end. You know,
we're born in the world the way it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
Whatever is in a funny way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, out there. You know. But
Yeah.
sometimes I sort of question it. You know, why?
I know.
You know, and like.
It is a sad reality that people have to spend most of their lives working just to pay for somewhere, just to pay for a house or somewhere that they live and their bills and everything else, where they're hardly ever there.
Well, you know, like again, it depends who you are. Like some people born silver spoons.
Oh, of course, yeah.
They got 5 houses today, and they rent out to people and get money for it and get even richer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or you got gold spoons, you know, which they're I call them sovereign people.
Yeah.
You know. You know, like I said, there's lots of different types of people out here. You know, you're either on that side of the boat or this side. You know.
Yeah.
And I think like, you know, like if you come into a lot of money, it would change your life. You could play a lot more in life, I think. You could relax, you could put your feet up. You can enjoy life a lot more.
Yeah, of course you can.
You wouldn't have to take it so seriously.
But that's why I'm a big believer in it. I preach it a lot to a lot of people that, you know, financial freedom, you know, that is the goal. I even say to young, like even sometimes like younger people that I might know or whatever, that, you know, younger people that, you know, might be either family or relatives or, you know, whatever. I always say to them, like, focus on getting some money, like, block out all the distractions and just try and figure out what you want to do early on as possible in your life. When you get to a certain age, especially when you get to like 16, you need, in all honesty, by the age of 16, you need to be figuring out what you want to do next in life, if you see what I mean, and maybe which direction you want to do and what, you know, what you want to achieve and how you're going to survive in life and be independent, and, you know, because, you know, so, you know, I think the earlier you figure that out, the more you will enjoy your life as you get older. If you figure out so like I said, if by the age of 16 to 18 you figure out what you want to do, and you're striving to achieve that, and then by the age of 21 you're working and you've got your career, you're working, and you're making a certain amount of money a year where you haven't got to worry about anything financial, that is a blessing. Like, you know, that is, you know, that gives you real freedom. That gives you, you know, you might still have to work, of course, but there's nothing better than being able to kind of live your life and not having to be too restricted by money, if you see what I mean, where you can't really enjoy and do certain things because you might not be able to afford it, or, you know, you've got to budget or hear it all the time for everything because you've got to, you know, it's, you know, things are tight, you know, so yeah, gives you a lot more freedom, a lot more play, probably a lot more play time when you're financially free, you know. So, you know, still got to work, of course. You've got a lot of people out there that are multi-millionaires, even billionaire people, who have got large corporations and large conglomerate companies and all sorts of shit, and some of these people still work, you know, a 9 to 5 kind of thing, you know.
As I said, you know, like,
still go to meetings.
As I said in last week's episode, I think, you know, you can be extremely rich, you know.
Yeah.
But all your money's tied up in land or whatever, you know, and you still got to go to work every day, do you know what I mean? And Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you had freed yourself. Do you know what I mean? You know, so there's a number of people out there that are millionaires, but they can't enjoy it, or they're not happy, or they can't. You know, it's all tied up.
Yeah.
You know, but I think like some people are happy with not having no money at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, I haven't got a lot. Do you know what I mean? I think like the most important thing in life is to be happy within yourself. You know, every day, every moment, if you can. You know, regardless whether you've got a lot of money or not.
Yeah.
You know, you've got hands, you've got feet, you've got eyes. You know, and that makes you kind of rich in life. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, it is important really to have your own home in a kind
Oh
of
yeah,
way,
yeah.
You know. You know, and that's not a lot of people have got their own home in this world. Do you know what I mean? There's only a very few in a kind of way that are financially, you know, gold spoons in a kind of way. Do you know what I mean? You know, that can afford to have more than one house. Do you know what I mean? They bought their house, but they've got other houses as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're just sort of like living a life of luxury now. Do you know what I mean? They can put their feet up and go to the beach every day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, but there's a lot of people out there that can't do that. You know, they you know, they pay rent.
Yeah.
For goodness sake, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's really kind of ruins people's lives in a kind of way. You know, ruins people's happiness.
Yeah.
Or they can't play anymore, or they can't enjoy life anymore.
Well, like I said, mate, I think I've said it before, right? A lot of people out there, mate, are a couple of paychecks away from being evicted. I mean, you really think about that, right? There's so much truth to that. There's so many people out there that live in this world today that if they lost their job and they didn't find a job for a few months, they could potentially be evicted, if you see what I mean. Yeah. There's some people out there that have got zero savings, got loads of debt, and if they were to stop getting that paycheck that they're getting every month, you know what I mean, that just keeps them ticking over and keeps them going back, they would lose everything. They'd be evicted within a couple of months, and they'd be essentially homeless. You know, might even have to claim bankruptcy. You know, and that then even puts you in more of a awkward situation and position. You know, if you see what I mean, going forward. You know. So yeah.
I mean, you can just come down with the flu and it can ruin your life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People have lost millions because they come down with some sort of illness.
Yeah, yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
They lost, you know. Especially in America, you know, it's a bit different there, you know. But I think, like, you know, when I was younger, for instance, you know, you're talking about like going back 50 years ago. I can remember, you know, there used to be a lot more children playing on the streets, you know, and playing bulldog, which was, you know, sort of across the road sometimes. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't so many cars back then. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't so dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, now this is kind of like stopped.
Yeah.
And then kind of there's not much play, you know, or you know, I think it's kind of slow, you know, with the modern world, you know. It's quite dangerous, really, isn't it, our world?
Yeah.
When you think about it, all the traffic, all the cars going about. Do you know what I mean? You know, I think it's quite dangerous world.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, do you think a car is dangerous?
No, definitely.
I do, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Can be.
Well, I think personally, I think a car is more dangerous than a gun.
Well, I don't know what the statistics are, but I was going to say in certain countries, of course, where they haven't got guns, let's say guns are completely illegal in every way, shape and form. I think obviously, you know, road accidents and deaths obviously probably are a lot higher than any other, you know, gun-related crimes.
I believe, well, you know, I don't know whether I'm right, but I reckon that cars have killed more people than guns have.
Oh, but yeah, I would.
And I'm talking about wars, everything.
Yeah, you might be right. I think you could be right, mate. I think
whether you're behind the wheel or just walking across the road and getting killed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, or a coach.
Think about all the accidents that happen every single day.
Coach of 50 people going, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, over a bridge or something.
Yeah, you know, just the list goes on. I think they kind of cover it up a little bit, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of how many people die each year of road accidents, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it is quite, cars are dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what, you know, I think they are.
Yeah.
You know, when you get behind the wheel, they're quite dangerous, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I don't care how good you are at driving. At the end of the day, they're dangerous.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think we're living in a very dangerous world today. Do you know what I mean? You know, we've got a lot of machinery around us as well. You know, that's quite dangerous. You know, I can remember sort of working in this pizza factory.
Oh yeah.
And it had this sort of cutting machine. You know, that cut the polythene or something. You know, to wrap the pizzas up.
Yeah.
And this girl lost her thumb.
Oh yeah.
Was operating the machine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Machines quite dangerous. Do you know what I mean? And they've done worse accidents than that. Do you know what I mean? You know.
Goodness.
So.
It's terrible.
Well. You know, you think about these machines like grinders they make.
Yeah.
You know, people make out. You know, they do have accidents with them occasionally. Do you know what I mean? They end up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Or even what do you call those? Electric saws.
Oh yeah.
You know, people had accidents with them.
Yeah.
Loads of times.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's happened.
Well, I've had an accident with one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before, I think.
Yeah.
In the past, you know, these machines that we invent are quite dangerous.
Yeah.
Or, you know, even a lawnmower, I reckon that's killed people before somehow. Do you know what I mean? You know, done something.
I remember reading not long ago, someone got, well, it was a little while, well, it was probably about 6 months ago, to be honest. I remember this guy got sucked into this, you know, those big wooden chippers.
Oh,
they cut the trees down like with the chainsaws,
Yeah.
cut them all up and then put them through the chippers.
Yeah.
This guy got sucked into the bloody chipper.
Yeah. I bet it's happened.
Awful.
I bet that's happened
Awful.
a few times, you know what I mean?
Oh mate, can you imagine, mate? That's awful. Yeah, he freak accident, like he was putting the wood into the thing, you know, and somehow got caught. Something, I think his clothing, what part of his clothing or something got caught. He ended up getting, you know, pulled in. Devastating.
Yeah, machines can do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very nice subjects to talk about, really, isn't it? What machines can do. You know, even helicopters and all that. You think about them.
Yeah, it's true. That's
You know, they're quite dangerous machines, you know. And I think like there's a helicopter going over past quite low the other day, right? And I thought, what a noise! So loud. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's really great. You know, thinking, hang on.
Yeah.
You know, it gives them permission to do that. Do you know what I mean? You know. I can't believe it, you know.
Yeah.
What a noisy world we're living in today, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of gives me a bit of a headache, to be honest with you, know what I mean? You know.
Yeah.
But there you go, you know, it's, you know, like I say, you got, you know, to be happy, you kind of got to accept things.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know, and this is the world I'm born in, you know.
Well, you can't get upset or get angry about stuff you can't control or have no control over, or you can't affect it in any way. You know, you can't change it, you can't affect it, so no point getting upset about it, is there?
I mean, it's like tarmac. I was sort of studying, you know, looking at that on the internet at the moment.
Yeah.
And apparently, most of that's from the Black Sea.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you think like tarmac. What do they use it for, roads? Did you know what tarmac is? It's like crude oil.
Oh yeah.
It's like some sort of crude oil. You know, but you know, you think about all the roads around the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How much tarmac we go through every year as well, you know, because like every road that they do make, they put down new.
Yeah.
They need, you know, resurfacing every 10 years.
Oh yeah.
You know, get potholes because the ice all breaking and whatever, you know.
Yeah, need maintenance.
That's it,
yeah.
you know. And
upkeep.
you think, goodness me, you know, like. How much money do people, you know, how much money are we spending on roads, you know? You know, I mean, like, I know that driving itself, you know, can be good fun. Quite exciting, you know, driving fast, you know, and you're being sheltered by the rain as well, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you can listen to your radio as well, you know, and, you know, it's quite a beautiful thing, really, you know, that we've kind of invented, but it's kind of like, really ruined our world in kind of way, you know, like when you think about it.
Yeah.
All this tarmac everywhere.
Yeah.
All the lights. It's got to light it all up every night.
Yeah.
How much electric is that? You know, and you know, I go to sleep during the night, you know, I don't see all those lights, but you know, thinking, wow. You know, just thinking the price of it all, you know, and why people are so poor today when we're spending so much money on roads.
Yeah.
In a funny way, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a funny world we're living in, Let's put it that way, you know.
Mm.
Say, man invented cars,
Yeah.
you know, probably about 150 years ago now.
Yeah.
First of all, it was a bike and they put an engine on it.
Yeah.
You know.